Well, hello, friends, neighbors. John, your whiskey neighbor here. Welcome down the nook. Still going to shoot an Irish, but this is a very different Irish than you may be thinking if you clicked on a headline thinking, oh, some Irish whiskey. Today, I want to shoot an Irish rye. Now, this is from Kilbeggan. And have I talked to you about Kilbeggan? I'm liking their single malt and their pot still. Is it their pot still? They put a bit of oats in. I like their Irish release, but this is Kilbeggan Irish Whiskey, small batch rye. So, I'll talk a little bit about what I know, and then we'll let the whiskey speak, and then I'll compare it to a rye finished scotch. Very weird. So if you've got a little bit of Irish or a little bit of light rye, why don't you pour some, and we'll see where this goes. Come on back. 3, 4. Yeah, this could be a little bit of a mixed up shoot. But this is, Kilbeggan small batch rye. And the thing is, it is a double distilled pot still whiskey. So it's malted and unmalted barley. And then it's a 30% rye. So it's not enough to be a legal rye in the US. It's not an all rye. Like mostly when I get into ryes, I'm like kind of that 95.5 or that 100% rye. So it is, only 30% rye. That's like a high rye bourbon. But, it's not aged in new oak that I know of. So it's going to be some ex-bourbon aging and whatnot. And so I didn't know what to shoot it against. So I'll talk to you more about my comparison pick later. But let's talk Kilbeggan small batch Irish whiskey. It's their rye. This nose is fruity, cut apples, pear. I think they have a tasting note melon. I mean, I could see that, right? Because it's sort of that fruit basket nose. It does not go herbal in the nose for me, and it's not that spicy. Lots of fruit. Let's try it on the palate. Sláinte. This is a nice whiskey. It's pleasant in the mouth. It's coating, lots of fruit. There is a little bit of spicing, peppering on the sides, but it's not got a lot of that core rye grain spice. It feels almost like some nice wood tannins. Better try another sip. Okay, nosing, 2-3 sips in, I can get a little bit of, rye bread. So I think I'm getting some rye. And now it is spicier. Cracked pepper, some spicing that I would afford to more of a rye. I think though, if you try this for the first time, it's going to approach you like, a fruity, younger, but good flavor whiskey. I'm glad it's at 43. I imagine though that it's chill filtered and all those other things. It doesn't say anything on the back. But I think it's a pleasant whiskey. I enjoy it. I think of it like it's actually tough to find a direct comparison. And when you're thinking Irish, to me, it is spicier, has a little more pepper, a little more pickup, a little more, cinnamon, ginger, that kind of spicing that I don't get in a pretty typical Irish blend, right? So I think it's unique. It's worth a try. I actually enjoy it. I've had the bottle open for a while, so it's not like I'm, going to it a lot, but easy 3.5 for me, and worth trying out if you're kind of thinking of rye, but not a rye head. This is not going to satisfy anybody who just loves rye. I like to shoot comparisons, and of course, with something on the label that says small batch rye, you would think I would pick from the many ryes that are gracing my shelf. I do like rye, but I went through them and I could not find a barely legal rye. I've got only cask strength, only 100% or like 95.5 ryes right now. I've got other bottles. I didn't want to crack one for the comparison. So the hunt went and I found kind of behind another bottle, this Johnnie Walker Blender's Batch. I think it's rye cask finish. and it doesn't match anything. Obviously, it's Scotch, not Irish. It doesn't say it's a rye. But I do recall thinking, this is an interesting blend. It's got some, single malt, and it's got grain whiskeys in here. It does mention, it's from the now closed Port Dundas, which was certainly that, and first filled bourbon, and then finished in rye cask was enough for me to go, I better take a chance on this. And in my market, it actually was on sale. So it was a pretty good price. So let's see, just in comparison, even though I would never, I don't know. Let's see where this goes. It's interesting because I get a little bit of, malt, cereal, sugars, fruit, and some spice. In comparison, the fruit notes on this is stronger. This is almost more rye. A little drier. A little more candy apple. Interesting. Rounder, fruitier nose. This, a little harder, a little closer to some rye. Let's try it on the palate. Sláinte. Palate here is not fruity. It's toffee, butterscotch, a little bit of rye spice, a little bit thin. Tastes a little bit like some pretty generic Canadian whiskey. Interesting. I don't regret pairing this just because this is a bit unusual, and so is this. Of these whiskeys, this is a better whiskey. This would go 3.5, 3.75. This is a 3-star whiskey, really. But if you see it on the shelf, like I did for, I want to say as low as 30, but maybe it was 35. Not a bad blend and unique and I don't regret having it, but not as tasty. A little more generic, a little more metallic, a little more definitely thinner on the palate. This has some nice coating nature. Definitely picking up that over the Johnnie Walker here. Well, thanks for joining me here. I will, hopefully I've got some more Irish samples tomorrow to bring to you. And then next week yet Irish again, getting ready for St. Patrick's Day. This is an Irish whiskey, just a little bit different. You guys have a great weekend.